Hi, everyone. I think I'm on. Great. Hey, welcome everyone to the third night of Northeast Heritage Music Camp, Alt Camp Faculty Concerts. It's been really an amazing lineup of folks, and it's been a wonderful week. As we've said earlier, had we known how much work it would be to set this up, we might not do it. But I think no one's saying that now because it's been really fun, and there's been these amazingly unpredictable, magical moments. So it's really great. And for those of you who are not registered campers and have not been part of our workshops, I hope you get a taste of what camp is like and consider joining us next year. So before we start tonight's concert, we have, well, I will say we have four of my absolute favorite musicians tonight. And who's to say if I might not have said that any other night I was introducing people. But anyway, I'll say it because it's true. And there may or may not be some surprise and special additions along with them. So that's something to keep you on your seat. Okay, but I did want to remind people that we have a tip jar, and we encourage people to give early and often to the tip jar. The tip jar funds go towards supporting camp, Northeast Heritage Music Camp, towards supporting our venue, the Common Ground Center, which has had to cancel many of its programs, probably all of its programs this year, and towards supporting our amazingly loyal and wonderful faculty. So we really encourage folks to give to the tip jar. And it will be the link for the tip jar is in the description of the event on both Facebook and YouTube. And it will also be posted in the comments. So I think that's all I'm going to say at the moment. And we're going to start tonight's concert with the inimitable Becky Tracy. And she may or may not have a guest.
Hi, everyone. What is this telling me? Can't read it without my glasses. It says the host is doing something. Okay.
Unmute myself.
We're good. I think we're good. So, hello. Here we are. There's this virtual screen behind us, and it happens to be my backyard. So welcome to my backyard, and Rachel, I brought Rachel along. We've been playing right here, practicing, and also practicing down in the graveyard when it seems like we're working a little too hard on tunes over and over again that maybe the neighbors wouldn't like. So anyway, it's been a really wonderful week. I've just had a lot of fun both teaching a workshop and playing for a jam and going to jams and hanging out with people and watching the concerts. It's been a super lovely week. So really, really glad to be here and glad for all the work that the board has done to make this happen, because I know it was a super amount of work. So Rachel and I are going to start with a set of tunes that are from Claire. I learned the second tune from Geraldine Cotter, who is this lovely piano player in Clare, and the second tune is called The Humours of Kilclawher. Some people might recognize it from a camp workshop several years ago. So we call it the humors set, humors of Trim, and the humors of Kilclogher. So the second set of tunes come from France. Rachel and I love to play for French dancing and for ball folk, and in fact, this is a set of tunes that are done that are played for a dance in Brittany. And you could dance this in an armchair way. You don't have to do the footsteps. You could just do the arm steps.
Armchair ball
So
folk.
armchair ball folk. So the arms for this particular dance, which is done in long lines in Brittany, is you bring them up, up, and then in and around. Up, up, in and around. And it's called Rond de Saint-Vincent. So hopefully you have those motions.
We'll imagine you all out there doing this with us.
In and around. Yeah. You can take a photo of yourself doing the armchair Rond de Saint-Vincent.
I would love to see someone try to do that and take a selfie at the same time.
Right.
Don't hurt
They
yourselves.
they can figure it out. 3. It's so great to be playing together. Oh.
It's pretty fun. We play that in particular, that tune, just because it makes us happy. What's happening up there?
They say that the accordion bass is coming through in a most satisfying way.
What
Yes.
does that mean?
That means it's just the way I like it. Awesome.
I thought that maybe they would say I needed to go sit back there.
No, you don't. So the next set of tunes is a new set for us. We've each written these tunes in the past few months, and my tune is for many young people that I know who have graduated this year, including one of our hosts, Rose Jackson. So this tune is called Caps in the Air, and it is for graduates of 2020. And then, Rachel, why don't you say what the next tune is?
The next tune is a tune I wrote at the very beginning of the pandemic, and it's called Right Up the Street, because the sentiment was that even though it was shelter in place at the time and we couldn't actually play together at the time and we couldn't go on tour, I just felt comfort and joy knowing that Becky was right up the street.
0.6 of a mile away.
That's right.
So
It's really good.
So Caps in the Air and Right Up the Street. A brand new set of tunes. So for Rose, I'm looking at Rose, I can see her, and quite a number of other graduates this year. Quite a different year to graduate, that's for sure. So we're going to end our set with a set of tunes that we recorded back in March, of all things.
The last time we were any place.
The last time we were any place other than in Brattleboro, Vermont. Exactly. We were in Quebec, in fact. And we were doing the thing people were doing at that time. We had a gig, and then all the rest of the gigs were suddenly canceled, and there we were in Quebec, and Nicholas said, "Hey, why don't you record something in my studio?" So we did. And this is the set. We were with Bethany Wakeman.
We
and
miss you, Bethany.
we definitely miss Bethany. So the set is a single that can be found on Bandcamp. And if you go on July 3rd and find all your favorite artists on
like
the
one of
first
those
Friday of the month, they
Bandcamp days.
they send all the money to the artists. So you can find all your favorite artists on Bandcamp on July 3rd. And this is one of the things you can find, the New Moon Meadow and Kenneth Murphy. And thank you, Nicholas.
Yeah, it's fun to
Four.
see Nicholas's screen right there and remember that was the last place we ever were anywhere, and that was a really amazing weekend. Despite sort of seeing all the gigs go away, we had an amazing time that weekend hanging out with Nicholas and friends.
Yep. We could have become a pod right there.
Yeah, right. That'd be the end of it.
thank you to the board and everyone putting this on. And I'm going to send it back to Carol, I think.
Thanks, everybody.
Great. Thank you, Becky and Rachel. That was amazing. It was so cool, particularly to hear new tunes from you guys that that probably we haven't heard before. So that was awesome. Particularly enjoy the backdrop there. That was great also. Great. So I want to say a couple things before we move to the next act. One is that I want to encourage people to share this live stream either on YouTube or on Facebook. When we actually have camp in person, one of my jobs is to run the artist store, and we can, artists get to sell some CDs and we get to raise the profile and spread the music around. And obviously that's not happening this year very much for folks. So sharing the live stream and sharing the music of these wonderful performances is another way of raising their profile and getting their music out there. So I encourage people to do that. I also wanted to make an announcement for people who are registered campers in our alt camp this year. Reminder that later this evening at 9:30-ish, maybe a little bit before, that's when we're starting the tiny dishwasher session. So keep that in mind, folks who are registered campers. All right. The next act will be a combo. Pete and Oliver were both slated to perform tonight, but of course they often, if not always, play together. So they are on deck and they're going to do a combo set. So their set will be a little longer since it's the two of them together. And yeah, the other thing I was going to say is, we're looking at this through Zoom, and I can see everyone. And I feel like every time I've looked at Oliver and Pete's little window, they are wearing something different. So I'm going to turn it over to them quickly before Oliver changes his outfit yet again. Okay, cool. So without any further ado, they need no more introduction. Pete and Oliver.
Hello, hello.
Hey, y'all.
All right, everything is going.
How about a tune?
We're gonna start off with a tune.
A tune?
You would have never guessed.
Oh my god. Fun, fun, fun. The old Katie Hill.
Let the fun continue.
We got a variety pack of music for you here, just in the camp spirit, in the camp tradition. And we're going to play a couple of original tunes, I believe, right? For you now.
Indeed, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to... both of these originals are originals of mine, but not only mine. They are originals that I have co-written with two folks, the first of which is right next to me, this guy over here. And it's a brand new tune that was actually a Posse Kickstarter reward.
Right.
Yeah, for none other than Peacham's finest.
Yeah, Frank Miller, the founder of the Peachum Festival, beautiful festival. Actually, we're going to play that one second.
That's right.
And it's called Gloch Sloy,
Yeah.
which is a family story from him. And then the first tune, though.
The first tune is so new it doesn't have a name yet.
Right.
So myself and the co-writer Zachary Mills used to be camper at Northeast Heritage. Co-wrote this one together, and it's a naming competition. If you have an idea, put it in the comments, and I will go through and read them, and we just might choose one.
That's right.
So
Prize,
yeah.
bragging rights.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So here they are. The unnamed B-flat tune and Gloch Sloy.
Alrighty.
All right. Let's try it again.
Yeah. One more time. There we go, Frank Miller.
Yeah.
We love you. Peachum Festival, long may it rain.
Indeed, we had some great moments there, and we look forward to the next time we can be there in person.
We're going to do a song of mine now that was on an album called The Wilderness Road, which came out many years ago, 2009 or something like that, I think, and it was a whole album of Vermont history songs, and I was really, really blessed to have a whole bunch of my favorite local singers doing the guest lead vocal tracks on this. So this one on the album was sung by Claudine Langille from Gypsy Reel, and for all you old timers, from the great band Touchstone from Chapel Hill, and she lives in southern Vermont. And we had a whole bunch of folks playing along on that track, including the author of a jig that's embedded in there, Ms. Sarah Blair from Montpelier. It's called the Hope Jig. Oliver's embedded in the chat. The tune is embedded in the song. So this is called The Witch of Wall Street's a True Story. 2, 3, 4. Never the bellows fall, but ever a legend has always been. Daughter of wealth, mother of want, giver of naught to her next of kin. A hoarder of gold was Hetty Green, and a marketer she was born to be. Bushels and bunches of stocks and bonds, the value of which no man could see. They called her the Witch of Wall Street, the wealthiest woman of her time. She could make $1 million, but she couldn't spend a dime. She wouldn't give doctors or lawyers a cent. She always demanded advice for free. Though she had property far and wide, Hetty's house was a sight to see. There were chips and cracks and holes in the floor. There was bread as hard as a bully's fist, while patched and dirty her children played like poor little Nell and Oliver Twist. They called her the Witch of Wall Street, the wealthiest woman of her time. She could make $1 million, but she couldn't spend a dime. Oh, Mrs. Green, mark me well, whether your ticket's for heaven or hell, there's nothing to buy and nothing to sell there. Oh, Hetty dear, I want to know, what was the fear that drove you so? How could your fire burn so low? The fruits of her labors grew, though hard the penny she made to save, with her children crippled and cheated and gone, husband laid in a pauper's grave. In widow's weed she'd haunt New York, where nothing she owned could lift her up. In every look she feared a plot, in every hand a poisonous cup. They called her the Witch of Wall Street, the wealthiest woman of her time. She could make $1 million, but she couldn't spend a dime. They called her the Witch of Wall Street. They called her the Witch of Wall Street.
Good song there, Pete.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah Blair, for that beautiful tune. All right.
Dude, well.
Well,
What
it's,
now?
it's time to kind of get into the what I learned at Alt Camp section of the program.
This is the real camp spirit.
That's
happening.
right.
On the spot. Yeah, well, we're gonna play. I guess this is a brand new tune too. Huh?
It is a brand new tune.
Another brand new, but not one of ours. Not this time.
No, this one was debuted actually on this same channel 48 hours ago by our dear friend and fellow instructor Lisa Ornstein from Olympia, Washington, and she wrote it to commemorate the Old Time Music Session, which Carol referred to as the Tiny Dishwasher Session for all you NPR fans, but in fact, it's always been known as the Hobart Session. Because
Indeed.
we all would kind of like crowd in around the Hobart dishwasher there.
It's the OG name.
Common Ground Center. So it's called Shove That Dish Rack a Little Deeper in the Hobart. And we had to learn it. So Lisa, if you're out there, here's your first official cover.
Thanks for this one.
little hard to hear. There's
That's a fun one.
This buzzing thing.
Buzzing thing?
Is there something wrong with the sound here? in our
No, I
studio?
think it's just you.
It's just me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it figures.
It's probably coming from your shirt. All those corals just buzzing you.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well. Well, onward.
The hazards of live broadcast.
You just never know what can go wrong.
What can go wrong? Well, Mr. Oliver Scanlon is going to sing you a song now, and
Man.
he has talk about passing the torch. He came up through the ranks at camp from a little kid camper to a big kid camper. Celebrated his many a birthday there. He's coming up on a big one day after tomorrow.
Saturday.
On Saturday. And another torch that got passed recently was the musical director baton of the Young Church in Vermont touring group, YTV to the faithful. And again, Oliver was kind of like working his way up, and here he is. And same thing on the board. Can hardly stop this guy. So this is a song that this year's group, which unfortunately did not get to go to its destination of Japan. Oh no, wait, this was last year, wasn't it? Was it last year?
It was.
Yeah, it was last year.
It
We
was
did
either
this.
last year or 2 years ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the years do roll on. Anyway, the song is a Cindy Callett song, and I'm reminded that Cindy Callett was on staff with us at Northeast Heritage back in the first era of camp back at Johnson State College. One of my favorite musicians, mighty musician. And this is the song that's made her kind of like made her name out there in songwriter land. Tide in the River Rising, or as we call it, Oars.
It's a beautiful one.
All right. Okay.
One of my favorites to sing these days.
In honor of the Japan connection, though, I'm going to play this Japanese instrument for you.
Just delivered from Japan.
From Japan.
Just yesterday, 2
Right.
days ago.
Alrighty.
Rise up on those feet and walk, my darling, rise up on those feet and walk. We've got arms reaching out to catch you, so rise up on those feet and walk. In the morning call my name, my darling, in the morning call my name. We grow old, young, we birth, we die, and somehow rearrange. Come on, get your oars and row, my darling, come on, get your oars and row. We've got tide in the river rising, so come on, get your oars and row. Some live to change the world with grace in the vision and a strength of mind. Some rise from trouble, some lend a hand, and some keep trying to find. Watch that little boy go walking, I love her, and watch him as he learns to run. Watch him as he rounds the corner out of sight, tumbling back in our arms he comes. Come get your oars and row, my darling, come on, get your oars and row. We've got tide in the river rising, so come on, get your oars and row. When it's time to say goodbye, my darling, when it's time to say goodbye, We live on through the old and the young ones, dreaming down a quiet line. So come on, get your oars and row, my darling, come on, get your oars and row. We got tide and the river rising, so come on, get your oars and row. Come on, get your oars and row, my darling, come on, get your oars and row. We got tide and the river rising, so come on, get your oars and row.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
That last tune there was a tune that I wrote for my brother, who is a world traveler, and it's called Miles for Miles.
We'd like to do a set that we are recording with the full Pete's Posse lineup, which includes our friend Tristan Henderson, who you did see a moment ago, flitting through, playing the jaw harp. He's going to play the guitar now. Happens to be in the neighborhood.
Hello!
We are a bubble, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Yes.
We're a bubble.
We've been
We're
a bubble for a while.
We're blessed to be a bubble.
Very happy about that. So this is a set of two tunes. The first one is a waltz that I made up for a beautiful place in Cabot, Vermont called Blackwell Roots Farm, and it's called Last Night at the Farm. And
Second tune
that second tune
is one that I composed called Hommage à Whedon, and it goes out to the family of my lovely wife, mon âme sœur, Marie-Ève, in Quebec, and her family in Whedon, Quebec.
I was glad to hear the octave fiddle there from Becky earlier.
It's gorgeous.
It was awesome, and I'm going to break out the viola and
Woo!
in support of the low notes, you know.
Yeah.
Low notes
Um,
all the way.
Yeah. So, did you mention we were just in the recording studio?
Yes, kind of did.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
We
good.
just recorded this set
yep.
We
a few
did.
days ago.
It's really exciting.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
All right,
So we're really glad to get to play it for you live.
On y va.
on y va.
Et voilà.
Et voilà.
Et merci.
Merci, Monsieur Anderson.
OK. À bientôt, les gars. See y'all some other point. Much love.
Fun. We're going to play one more set for you here.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And it's
turning it over to a man actually probably not that far from Wheaton.
true.
You know, Waterville.
Well, he'll
Waterville.
just have to tell us himself.
It was a great pleasure to be playing as part of the lineup here, the stellar lineup of that we're both board members as well, so we're kind of like seeing it from both sides. And I just want to give a shout out to the tech crew this year, without which none of this really would have happened. Chief among them, Mr. Scanlon, and the director tonight, your director, Miss Rose Jackson. They put in
Yes.
a lot of hours.
Your graduate director.
Graduate too.
Yep.
For sure. So this set here is a couple of Irish tunes, but we're starting it off with
We're starting off with
a
a
co-write.
tune, another co-write.
another
indeed.
co-write.
That's been happening a lot during this, particularly during May quarantine.
Yeah.
April, I suppose. April and May quarantine, there was a whole lot of tunes flying around, and this was one of them that ended up also being a Kickstarter premium.
That's right.
This time for none other than Mr. Mark
Susstick,
the man.
the man, the man.
And we call it.
Be like Mark.
We do. We surprised him at a live stream that we were doing for Young Tradition Vermont not all that long ago, and I think he was a little taken aback. Of course, we couldn't tell.
We couldn't tell.
We couldn't see him. But
Yeah.
anyway, and then we're gonna do a couple of Irish tunes, "The Crib of Perches" and "The Graf Spey."
That's big.
And
A mighty tune.
it's been certainly a fun time so far these first 3 days of Alt Camp 2020, and I'm really glad we get to harness some of the camp spirit, even though we can't actually all be together. It's been really fun to see all your faces, and you know, it's an honor to be on the staff this year, even despite all of what has happened. So yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
We appreciate your being with us.
Alrighty. Be like Mark. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Thanks, Pete and Oliver. That was awesome. And thanks to your special guest, too. It's great to see Tristan. One thing I was thinking about that, it's too bad that we don't see each other in person this year in camp. But it's been really cool to have kind of broaden the camp community and have other folks join for the performers. I'm just watching the Facebook stream as we're doing this and seeing all these former campers who are listening in, and people who maybe wouldn't have been able to come to camp in person have been able to attend the workshop. So that has all been great. Speaking of camp, I had one or other camp announcement, and perhaps this is becoming a tradition, but I wanted registered folks to know that during the hangout time tomorrow, we're going to go back to a tradition from, I don't know, maybe it started last year, but it's definitely a tradition. A little mandolin cardio is going to happen. Mandolin Zumba is going to happen, as well as maybe some ping pong cardio, and definitely some Swedish cow calling. So don't forget to join the hangout tomorrow for the campers. Okay, great. I think that's all I have to say announcement wise. Remember the tip jar. And if someone would be kind enough to repost that link, that would be great. And now we're going to move to north of the border. And introduce Nicholas Williams, multi-instrumentalist, multi-talented, multilinguist, a lot of things. Nicholas Williams.
Unmute myself. Great. Hey, thank you, Carol. It's great to be here. I am going to have such a hard time playing this set without thinking about ping pong, cardio, cow calling with mandolins. That is going to be so much fun. I'm so there. Pete, it is 65.6 kilometers from Waterville to Whedon, or rather, I should say Tristan, it's about 65.6 kilometers, so not too far for you to come and visit next time you're in Whedon. It's great to be here. I'm going to start off playing a couple of Quebecois tunes on the flute, which I love to do. These are a couple of real classic Quebecois tunes. I'm going to start off with a 6-8, which is like a jig, a 6-8, and a reel by a really well-loved fiddle player, André Alain, who's really well known for writing all kinds of crooked tunes. And I'm going to finish with a tune from the repertoire of Philippe Bruneau, who's an accordion player, called Hommage à Stéphane Landry. So here we go, a couple tunes from Quebec. I was hoping my daughter Zoe would join me on this first one, but it's past her bedtime here now. But we can think of her. Imagine a whistle playing in the background. There you go. I'm going to do a quick mic setup here. Hope I do not cross the wires. So when it's interesting when this whole COVID confinement thing started coming into effect, as luck, well, or misfortune would have it, it was the very night that Becky and Rachel were in this very room on their way to come and play a bal folk in Waterville, in our town. Part of another burgeoning bal folk scene. It's taking the continent by storm, and I was so excited to have Becky and Rachel and Bethany come up and play for that dance. They played for a concert at our local community center, and we were gonna have a raging bal folk night, but that was the first night where we had to make the call that it was maybe not the most responsible thing to do. So I'm really looking forward to having that happen again, but I want to play for you now one of the tunes that I was going to lead my community group of musicians playing, and it's for that bal folk to open up for Becky and Rachel and Bethany. So this is a 5/4 waltz that is played in the bal folk scene. It's called Vivre. It's a really beautiful tune written by a French accordion player, Stéphane Delic. Okay, here we go. Oh no. I couldn't hire my roadie for this gig. Okay. I hope all of you that do know how to 5/4 waltz to waltz in 5/4 time will be doing so at your home. Thank you. All of those hand wavers I see. It's great. I love this in our Zoom meeting. Those of you who are following the Facebook stream can't see this, but we have this like cool backstage green room thing going on with the other artists. It's really fun to see their faces. I'm going to invite two special guests right now, surprise guests, and do another quick setup change. I had the great fortune of going through this confinement with two really great singers in the household. This is my wife Milan and our housemate Nelly. And so we've been having a really good time singing some songs in three-part harmony. And one that I think it's our coup de cœur, our favorite song of the last couple of months that we discovered that I was able to introduce to them thanks to Northeast Heritage, because it was a song that I discovered there through one of the other staff members, Sunniva Brunel. And it's one of her compositions recorded by the famous neo-trad in virtuosic ensemble Night Tree, featuring some people that we know and love very well at this camp. So it's a really beautiful song of Sunniva's that I feel is really feels right to sing these days. It's called Thanksgiving, and I think one of the things that really kind of speaks to me right now is that the chorus goes, life keeps on giving a million tears and a million stars, a million stars and a million tears, and love keeps on lifting us up again. And I feel like this whole what everyone's going through, I feel like there's been so many gifts through the being forced to just stay at home and slow down and stop and appreciate the things that you have and not be running around. And I feel like in a lot of ways it's been a really a nice gift for a lot of people, but it's obviously come with a lot of challenges too. So here we go. Thanksgiving. Crossing the sea in search of my dreams, leaving the country of my home, searching for love and music to share, waiting for answers to unfold, starting again in places unknown, learning the patterns of my soul, building a house of longing and hope, seeing a light when there is none, and life keeps on giving a million stars and a million tears. Love keeps on lifting me up again, and life keeps on giving a million stars and a million tears. Love keeps on lifting me up again. Friendships I've found across the wide world, all of them different yet the same. Spirits unite, separate no more, infinite beings with no name. And life keeps on giving a million stars and a million tears. Love keeps on lifting us up again, and life keeps on giving a million stars and a million tears. Love keeps on lifting us up again.
love keeps on lifting us up again, and life keeps on giving a million stars and a million tears. Love keeps on lifting us up again, and life keeps on giving a million stars and a million tears. Love keeps on lifting us up again.
Thanks. I love that song. Maybe I will just take advantage of having Nelly and Milen here. Just do another quick song to finish off. It's a song by well, at one time he was very local. A songwriter who he's from Scotland originally, but lived for a long time just down the road in Ayers Cliff. So it's David Francie is his name, and he's gone on to write tons and tons of incredible songs. That he has a real talent of bringing poetry to the stories of everyday life. And this one called "The Torn Screen Door" is one that he wrote that just speaks of the what's the name? Urban flight, rural flight. There's a term for it, but people leaving the countryside to go and live in the cities, and so which has happened a lot around here. But maybe with COVID, everyone's going to be running away from the cities and populating the country, small towns again. That'd be great. So thanks so much for listening. Thanks for being here. Please support the camp as such a great and important part of my life and the life of a lot of people. So thanks so much again for the whole board for putting the work in to make this happen. I think it's a really important thing to stay connected. So bravo to everyone who's made that happen. Torn Screen Door. I'm gonna stand up. Actually, we'll just sing around this one mic.
Late summer day and my love and I went walking. Over hills and fields we walked, laughing and talking. Came across an old farmhouse standing broken and bare. It used to be someone's home, now no one lives there. There's a red barn standing held together with nails and dust. And a tired old massy Harris, all wires and rust. Weeds overgrown in a garden sown with care. It used to be someone's home, now no one lives there. Through the crack in the window pane, I hear the sound of the falling rain. Another farm being left run down, another family moved into town. Had a life that they tried to save, but the banks took it all away. Hung a sign on the torn screen door, nobody lives here no more. They worked their fingers to the bone, nothing left they can call their own. They packed it in under leaden skies, with just a wheat waving them goodbye. Had a life that they tried to save, but the banks took it all away. Hung a sign on the torn screen door, nobody lives here no more. They had a life that they tried to save, but the banks took it all away. Hung a sign on the torn screen door, nobody lives here no more.
Yay. Great. Wow, thanks so much. I wish I could see you all out there in Facebook land, but thanks for being here. Thanks so much, Becky and Rachel and Pete and Oliver and Tristan for the awesome concerts that happened before. And looking forward to the end of camp.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone who performed tonight, everyone who came tonight, everyone who supported tonight's performances. And for those of you who are not part of Alt Camp this year, I hope you get a taste of what Northeast Heritage is about and consider joining us in the future. That's all I have to say. We're going to sign out, and I think we're going to do a collective goodbye. Is that true, Rose?
That's us.
So I think Rose is gearing us up to say goodbye to everyone. So again, thanks so much. Have a good evening,
Thanks
and
for
see
joining
many of you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.